Hey guys, so I wanted to give an update on the flip. So we're 2 weeks into since work was started. It took me about 2 weeks before I got the guys in here to actually start the work. But we've been moving along, so I'm gonna talk about some of the costs real quick, show you what we've finished as far as paint, flooring, and then kind of go into the electrical and plumbing work because the electrical got done yesterday. And we'll talk about the contingency budget a little bit. I don't want to keep this super long, and I'm going to try and not bounce around. But again, just showing you guys that any idiot can flip a house because I'm an idiot and I don't know a lot. I did one flip. We did majority of the work ourselves. We YouTubed it. I mean, like everything. So if I can do it, you can do it. But I wanted to, follow this series of actually subbing out the work. It's way easier. The work is better. It's faster. Just being honest. So you can see we got the flooring here. And then that's the paint color we went with. So it's called Worldly Gray is the paint color, kind of lighter tone. I'm trying to stay away from like the gray floors, the gray walls, the farmhouse. I'm not going for that. I think the farmhouse styles and the grays, like I've kind of noticed people aren't really going for that anymore. I think it's coming out. So we went with kind of that color for the wood or the floors. But yeah, so the house is mostly painted, except for the kitchen. We still have that, which we'll go over electrical in a minute. And then the bathroom, I don't know if you remember, the ceiling was, you could see where there was like patches and there wasn't really a way to save that. So we got the guys to just put in some new drywall for the ceilings. And then they just did this mask here to sand it down and we'll paint the walls. So we didn't need to do all new drywall. And then we'll go over that. Again, I'm trying to stay on task and not just jump around randomly. You can see that, the hallway is painted, the bedrooms are painted, and we have that chandelier, which I said in the beginning we were leaving that. So in nice shape and it just looks nice. So we are at the carpet's like 90% done. And then rooms, like I said, were painted already. So I think they got finished up, in the closet areas. And then, I don't know if I pointed that out, but we were able to actually, the attic fan still works. So decided to leave it, rather than taking it out. It just made sense. And then obviously in here, we got to get paint. And we're doing a new tub. First of all, we had to place on the subfloor where you can see kind of water was sitting there. So, which like back here, like there hasn't been any water, like that floor's solid, but you can see like where some water were just probably sitting in the tub and slowly rotting that. And then as far as the tub, you can see a little late to refinish the tub because we're actually taking that out. So I had called a couple companies. I had researched a lot about refinishing a tub. It wasn't terrible. Like, it could probably be refinished, right? But you can see where they used to have like shower doors and they just puttied that over. So it was really, I would want someone to come in and refinish it where they could sit it down, make it nice and white. When I was getting quotes from a couple companies, the best quote I found was $1,000. And that was, they normally charge like 12 or $1,400. And they were like, for our investors, we will do it for $1,000. It's going to cost me like $1,100 to get my guys to just do a brand new tub. There's certain things, you need to save money on flips, but from the research, I saw about like refinishing tubs is, they might last a little bit, a couple years, but then, those refinishing could start to fade. Whether that's true of a professional company versus like maybe that was just DIYers that I was looking at. I don't know, but it's a difference of $100. I'm going to give you a brand new tub. I'm trying to give people a nice house. You know, I have to cut money where I can, but at the end of the day, like, I want a first time home buyer to come in here and be very happy they got a brand new house, and I'll spend an extra $100 to get a brand new bathtub and make that bathroom look really nice, because at the end of the day, it's going to help me sell it a lot faster. This is the master. I can see we've still got, you know, like I said, all the carpets in the closets need in. So that's where we're at as far as the work that's done. You know, most of the painting, and then obviously demo and the floors. So the flooring I spent right at, for the entire house, they were at like $2,100 for the flooring. So we gotta go into the plumbing, so that's real quick, and then we'll go into the electrical, and talk about the, you know, little buffer we give in our budget, because something did pop up there. So the plumbing, we should have him here Monday. If you remember, this was an island, and you had a couple cabinets, no dishwasher, and then you had two like 12-inch cabinets on the base, and then like 12-inch cabinets up above where the stove was. Like, zero space for storage, and then the refrigerator was there. So the plumber's gonna come in, he's gonna move that over. Obviously it's a slab, so it's not a simple thing, but he's gotta cut into the slab. We're gonna move it over about 8 feet. So that's gonna run me about $1,550, from what he quoted me. Unlike the electrical, I don't foresee anything crazy popping up there. Like, it should be pretty straightforward, from what I've talked to him about. So then the electrical, I'll go into that. So we had him come in, add a new outlets, 2 new outlets there, well, 3. And then we updated the outlets there, and then we didn't have a microwave before, so we got that set up so that we can add the microwave, because it was just a vent fan there. So the stove is still staying right there with the microwave above it. Cabinet space, sinks right under the window. We'll do the dishwasher there. And then we're actually moving the fridge over here. So you can see, like, we got 2 36-inch cabinets going there. And then we'll have the upper cabinets. Like, we're gonna have easy double the space by changing the layout here. So if you also remember, the electrician just removed that whole double switch that they had there. One was for the outside light, which we're just gonna take out. And then you remember there was a door here that you could tell they had just patched it. So we took that out completely, because the refrigerator is gonna go there, which is why we have that receptacle. And then the only light switch we have to the kitchen now is over here on this wall, which makes sense. I mean, you walk in through the back door for whatever reason, or here, we don't need 2 switches, and that's going to be behind a refrigerator anyways. So the couple things that popped up with electrical, initially, if you remember, we had this like patch here, and, you know, I talked to him, and I was thinking, it's kind of weird, it's off-centered, but to me, I was like, maybe because they didn't have a hall light, they kind of pulled the light back in the living room. And then I thought that was a switch, and they had just taken out the light for whatever reason and patched that. Turns out that switch actually operated that outlet. Just kind of like houses in the 70s where, you know, people would just plug in a lamp, and that was their light for the living room. So that's actually just nothing, a random hole they patched. But we went ahead and got the wiring for a light, and that outlet will work as well. He was going to go through the ceiling and the master. For whatever reason, it was just a challenge, so he did have to wind up going through here. You can see he had to step him down, and then that wasn't that big of a deal. You know, the guys will be able to patch that pretty easy. But the big thing that kind of threw a quirk in it, and we'll go over the contingency, was we did have to do a new panel, which I did not plan for. The old panel, it was showing that, you know, he had like 3 more slots or something like that. But when he pulled the panel off, there was only 1 more slot for a breaker, and we needed 2 to legally keep the kitchen, you know, up to code. I mean, he needed 2 more breakers to do that. So he, you know, called me and he was like, hey, we got a problem. And, you know, he gave me the options, and it's really like the only good option was that we had to replace the box. So because he expected me to probably send him more work, which I definitely will. He's been great. Like, he was on time. He got the job done fast. You know, he gave me a little bit of a break on that. So in total, we were $3,000 on electrical. But he got the new box in for me for under 1,000, which was huge. I was expecting at minimum 2,000 for that, which was going to make me a little sad. But that's why we have the contingency. So when I started this project, you know, I ran my numbers and everything, and I wanted to be done under 30,000 for the complete reno. But I knew I would just add in a buffer. So I added in a little $5,000 buffer, giving us, like, if we had to, we can go up to 35,000, which, you know, that's just what I'm going to do on all my properties that I do, just because, like, little things like that pop up that you don't foresee when you're budgeting these projects. So, and if something horrible happened, like, I have a bigger buffer than that, I would just make a lot less money than I wanted to if we, like, went way over because something major popped up. But it would take a lot to actually, like, break even on this deal anyways, and that's why I run my numbers the way I do. Is like, you know, if I'm gonna break even, something horrible happened, and I probably missed something that I shouldn't have missed if I'm eating that much into budget that I break even or lose money on the deal. So right now I think we'll be sitting probably about 32.5 on the full renovation. We'll go into that, but again, that was built into the buffer for these items that you don't foresee, or, you know, like, even just buying, like, the lighting fixtures and then updating, you know, the doors as far as, like, the hardware for them, hardware for the cabinets, that kind of things you give rough estimates for, but, like, didn't actually budget how much it's going to cost me to get, you know, the knobs for the cabinets and all that hardware. But yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys an update and kind of go through, like, what's happened on the project, and, you know, the small hiccups that, again, like, we didn't plan for them, but we budgeted for them. So keep following along. Let me know if you got any video ideas. I want to sit down kind of when we're done in probably a couple weeks and actually, like, have my hard numbers of what we spent done. And then probably do a video on, like, how I found hard money. Not hard money, I found private money. Because I don't have 125 grand sitting in my bank to do flips. As of right now, like, I got like $4,000 of my own money into this project, and that's probably about all I have to come out of pocket. And that's just because I needed to pick up some supplies, and rather than go to my investor, I was like, yeah, whatever, you know, I'll eat it. I knew I could put up, you know, a little money into the deal, and I'm not gonna hound them about, like, oh, hey, let me come, like, get reimbursed for this. Like, obviously the bigger stuff I'll let them handle because that's what they agreed to do. But yeah, so I'll do a little video on as far as, like, how I built that relationship and how we worked it out as far as, like, attorneys and you know, getting everything in writing so that they're protected, I'm protected. But yeah, so just stay tuned. Again, comment any other videos you'd like to see, and I will keep you guys updated. you know, probably next week after we got some more of the stuff done. So thanks for following along.